Welcome to Startup Hack. My name is Spencer Thomason. I've been a software developer for over 25 years. I've helped hire and train over 100 developers, and I'm going to help you today get started. And we love to help developers here at Startup Hack. So today we're going to dive into what is Git and talk a little bit about Git and give you one of three-part series where you can get started using Git. So let's go ahead and dive in. All right, let's dive into Git. What is Git? That's what we're going to be covering here today. So let's talk a little bit about what Git is, how you can use it, and what some of the different things you can do with Git is. So we're going to talk about what is Git and give a short history of Git, the 3 stages, and then we're going to show you how to install Git. So for starters, what is Git in a nutshell? This is an important section to absorb because if you understand what Git is and the fundamentals of how it works, then using Git effectively will probably be much easier for you. As you learn Git, try to clear your mind about things you might know about VCS, so Visual Studio Source Safe, or other such as CVS, Version, or Perforce. So now the first image that you're going to see here, the major difference between Git and other source safes like Subversion and other friends included, is that Git thinks about its data. Conceptually, most other systems store information as a list of file-based changes. These other systems, CVS, Subversion, Perforce, Bazaar, and so on, think of the information they store as a set of files and the changes made to each file over time. Now, the second image is Git. Git doesn't think of or store its data that way. Instead, Git thinks of its data more like a series of snapshots of a miniature file system. With Git, every time you commit or save the state of your project, Git basically takes a picture of what all your files look like at that moment and stores a reference to that snapshot. To be efficient, if files have not changed, Git doesn't store the file again. Just a link to the previously identical file is also stored. So Git thinks about its data in more of a stream of snapshots. Now, let's go over a short history of Git. During the early periods of Linux kernel maintenance, 1991 through 2002, changes to the software were passed around as patches and archive files. In 2002, the Linux kernel project began using a proprietary DVCS called BitKeeper. In 2005, the relationship between the community that developed Git and the kernel and the commercial company that developed BitKeeper broke down, and the tool's free of charge status was revoked. This prompted the Linux development community, and in particular Linus Torvald, to develop their own tool based on some of the lessons they learned while using BitKeeper. Since its birth in 2005, Git has evolved and matured to be easy to use and yet retain these initial qualities. It's amazingly fast, it's very efficient, and it's a very large project. So now modified means, so Git has 3 main states that your files can reside in. Modified means that you have changed the file but have not committed it yet to your database. Staged means you have marked a modified file in its current version to go into your next commit snapshot. Committed means that the data is safely stored in your local database. The working tree is a single checkout of one version of the project. These files are pulled out of the compressed database in the Git directory and placed on disk for you to use or modify. The staging area is a file generally contained in your Git directory that stores information about what will go into your next commit. Its technical name is Git parlance is the index, but the phrase staging area works just as well. The Git directory is where Git stores the metadata and object database for your project. This is the most important part of Git, and it's what is copied when you clone a repository from another computer. The basic workflow goes something like this. You modify files in your working tree. You selectively stage those changes you want to be part of your next commit, which adds only those changes to the staging area. You do a commit, which takes the files as they're in the staging area and stores that snapshot permanently to your Git directory. Now, before you start using Git, you definitely want to make sure that it's available on your computer. So even if it's not already currently available, you may want to go and make sure you download it. So I'll go and show you how to download it and how to install it, or in my case, how to update it. So I'll show you how to do that now. So let's go back to our browser here, and we're going to go download Git here. So you go and you download the Git. So in this case, I'm going to do a 64-bit Git installer for Windows setup. This will download. It's relatively small, just about 50 megs. And then once this is downloaded, you fire this off. And if you already have it installed, it's going to ask you to update it. And then once you and so we'll walk you through here. So this is what you can expect, right? So you can hit install. You can see that it's removing my previous version, and not to be afraid here. So you can see it's installing here, and so you just want to hit that first default one that you're watching. Then it's going to go through and update, and in my case, it's going to update. If it's a brand new install, it may prompt you for some different things. In my case, I already have a Git configuration, and so it's just doing an update to the latest version of Git, which is always pretty important. So even if you have Git installed, which is highly probable if you're searching out this course, then from here you can and in this case, I'm going to go ahead and launch Git Bash. So Git's actually made up of a bunch of different pieces, and there's different UIs and that you can use. But at the end of the day, Git is usually involved in a bash. So this bash script window now allows us to go into Git and then to be able to start using Git commands. So obviously your simplest one is Git status. Now this isn't a repository, but we're going to break into the actual commands in our next video. So make sure you like and subscribe to our channel here, because I like to bring you a lot of great things. But ultimately, we're also this video sponsored by Startup Hack. Startup Hack is a great course that allows you to become a web developer in just 3 short months. You can start a career that will average over $100,000 per year. This is a fantastic course that I've put together to help you to become a great developer. So while I give you little tidbits here on my YouTube channel, and you should definitely like and subscribe, and I'm going to give you more Git help in our very next video. At the same time, if you really want to dive in and really become a great developer, you should definitely sign up for our course now. So make sure you sign up today and get started to become a great developer. Otherwise, we'll catch you in the next video, which I'm going to go into some of the more basics of how to use Git, and we will catch you next time.